We're officially less than a month away from the final season of Power Book Force, and with the latest trailer dropping this past week, here are several key moments that I think flew under the radar. And there's one thing that everyone is missing when it comes to a key death and a major return. Early in the trailer, we hear Tommy telling D-Mac, "It's time for you to be baptized into this life, just like Kanan did for me in Ghost." D-Mac looks completely clueless about who Tommy is even talking about, which perfectly highlights the generational and informational divide between them. D-Mac doesn't really know much about Tommy's backstory just yet, but I believe this season we will see Tommy slowly start to open up. He'll likely give D-Mac a history lesson on Kanan and Ghost, and talk about the things they went through together as they came up under Breeze to earn his respect. I also think Tommy will eventually tell D-Mac about Tariq, which could set up an in-person introduction later in the season. That would be a major moment, especially considering Tommy's complicated relationship with Tariq. The next scene sets the tone for the season as we hear Detective Stacy Marks say that a street war is going on between the Marquez Cartel and CBI. This immediately tells us that this season will be action-packed with many shootouts and a lot of deaths on both sides. We'll also see the inner battles happening within both Miguel's crew and Tommy's organization. Jannard can be heard telling Diamond that Tommy is the reason people are getting shot, while we see Diamond thinking hard about what he's saying. This clearly sets up the conflict between Tommy and Diamond that we all knew would eventually come, where Diamond might be forced to choose between standing with Tommy or siding with his brother. This moment could also explain why Tommy eventually reached out to Tariq in the post-credit scene of Power Book 2. Now, some fans have been speculating about the mysterious person seen pulling up on a motorcycle dressed in all black firing off shots. Based on the build of the person and the fact that Diamond is standing nearby, I think it's Tommy coming in to save Diamond from a deal gone bad, and this scene is likely taking place in one of the first few episodes. Of course, we have to remember that power trailers are known for throwing us off. They often include misleading or out-of-order scenes to trick the audience, so this could be another setup. Next, we see Vic and Tommy putting a body into the trunk of a car, while at the same time, we hear Vic telling Detective Marks that he wants out of being her informant. In another clip, she tells him to keep Tommy talking so they can move in before he makes his next move. I believe there will be a point in this season where the feds pressure Vic into trying to get a confession out of Tommy and set him up for arrest, but Tommy's no fool, and I think he'll catch on immediately, which could lead to Tommy turning on Vic and possibly taking him out for betraying him. Later on in the trailer, someone on the other end of the phone tells Vic that Tommy is now a lone wolf, which basically confirms that Diamond and the rest of CBI will turn on him. Then we hear Tommy say, "I'll burn that coalition down before I let them take it from me," while we see him and Diamond burning down what looks like a warehouse or stash spot, most likely belonging to Miguel and the cartel. Mireya then tells Tommy to take it back instead of burning it down, which could mean that Tommy and Diamond robbed Miguel's operation before torching it to send a message. Now, in my opinion, the most emotional moment in the trailer is when JP tells his son D-Mac that he will always be there for him. Immediately after that, we see Kate hugging Tommy as both of them look devastated, like they just lost someone. Now, even though these trailers often mislead us, I do however think that this sequence combined with the shot of Tommy, Mireya, and D-Mac at a funeral, where what appears to be Kate speaking at the podium, could mean that JP gets killed this season, and this might happen as revenge for the death of Mad Dog. Remember, Mad Dog was King Kilo's nephew, and King Kilo could have put out the word to CBI to take out D-Mac in retaliation. And JP could have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time after he left Kate's house to say his final goodbyes to D-Mac and the family. That would explain Kate's line that we hear a few scenes later in the trailer where she tells Tommy to make them suffer. I think CBI and Jannard could even be waiting outside JP's funeral, ready to catch D-Mac slipping, and this might be what causes the full fallout between Diamond and Tommy. Toward the end of the trailer, we hear Mireya telling Tommy that she knows what life she's signing up for and that she'll be waiting for him. In the Power universe, lines like that are rarely just romantic, and they often serve as foreshadowing or a narrative red flag. Mireya's words to Tommy feel like something a character says right before tragedy strikes. It carries a haunting sense of finality, as if she's not just making a promise, but unknowingly foreshadowing her own fate. In the Power universe, lines like that often imply that the person saying them will end up waiting forever, symbolically hinting at death. It's the kind of language the writers use when a character's destiny is sealed long before the audience realizes it. Her waiting might not be in the literal sense, but rather a haunting echo after Tommy loses her, and another casualty of the life that she thought she could handle, eerily similar to Keisha. With that being said, I think there's a strong chance Mireya gets caught in the crossfire and killed, possibly taking bullets that weren't even meant for her. But there's one interesting twist. It looks like Tommy and Miguel are actually working together in one of the final scenes, where they're storming into what looks like a theater and firing at what could be CBI members. That could mean Tommy and Miguel temporarily team up to avenge Mireya's death. Showrunner Gary Lennon stated that this season will be built around triangles between Tommy's relationship with Mireya and her brother Miguel, as well as the relationship that Tommy has with Jannard and Diamond. But one thing that really stood out from what showrunner Gary Lennon said about this season was how one person will end up being left out within both of Tommy's triangle relationships that I just mentioned, and he goes on to say that we will be surprised as to who that could be. Now a lot of people have speculated that Jannard will be the one who gets taken out this season. But some of you may not be aware or could have forgot about the pictures and behind-the-scenes videos that we got earlier this year, where Jannard and Tommy are seen together multiple times, but Diamond is nowhere to be found. This makes me believe that there could be a chance that Diamond gets killed off in the finale, while Jannard makes it out alive and makes amends with Tommy. When it comes to the Tariq and other characters from Power Book 2 crossing over into Force, it's safe to say that Tariq will most definitely appear, and he will likely bring a few people with him to help Tommy out in Chicago. Showrunner Gary Lennon also mentions that he likes to drop breadcrumbs in the Power series that later lead to bigger storylines in other shows. He goes on to confirm that we will see familiar faces appear in Force this final season. With Diamond likely choosing Jannard over Tommy, this is where Tommy will have no other choice than to call Tariq to come back him up, and I believe that we will see Tariq show up with Braden, Diana, and possibly even Kane and Effie. Now sure, Kane is on the run currently, but due to Tariq somewhat earning his respect in the final season of Book 2 after helping Kane get revenge on Noma for killing Monet, and if you factor in the possibility of Diana calling Kane to help Tariq and Tommy in Chicago, I think that there's a slight chance that this could be a possibility. I mean, after all, we did see actor Joseph Sikora and Woody McClain take a photo with each other a while back, which was later removed from Joseph's IG page. Now, while I don't want to give much away as far as my predictions for the season, I do however believe that we will not be getting a Ghost return in Force. Due to the simple fact that if Omari Hardwick were to return, it would be a massive reveal and one that the producers would likely save for a bigger crossover event. But however, I have a few theories on how they could tease a possible Ghost return that I will cover in a later video. But one of those theories that I have would center around a moment when Tommy is about to leave Chicago and head back to New York, and as Tommy is heading to his car, he sees an envelope sitting on his windshield, and as Tommy opens the envelope, there's a letter that says, "You can't outrun who you are," with the signature that reads Jamie at the bottom. At first, Tommy might assume that it's a sick joke, but the handwriting, or a small detail, could make Tommy pause for a moment and start to think. Then the camera lingers on Tommy's face as he processes it, then the screen cuts to black, leaving the audience questioning everything. With the underwhelming ending that Book 2 had, I know I can't be the only one who thinks that Season 3 of Force needs something to happen at the end to capitalize on the momentum and anticipation leading into Power Legacy. How much of a role do you think Tariq will play when he shows up? Will JP get taken out this season? Or are they playing mind games with us in the trailer yet again? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all things within the Power universe. See you all next time in the universe of Power.